Hi everyone, thank you for joining us this evening. Okay, so we've got a change of plan tonight. I said it was going to be little old me, albeit less on the little, more on the big, and that I was going to show you how to do the FMM Easy Peony Cutter. Anyhow, somebody asked me how to do macarons, and I said I'd been on a class with the lovely Claire Corbett, so here's Claire. And I was a bit worried about contacting her, and it's been on my mind for quite a few weeks about giving her a call. So after last week's Facebook Live, I decided, press the button and give Claire a call and ask her to join us. And she gladly come over to join us tonight. So hello, Claire. So if everybody can give Claire a wave, I'll be really grateful. So John will be telling me how well we're doing shortly, I should imagine. So all we're going to do tonight is French macarons. Okay, so the peony cutting is going to have to wait till next week when I'm on here with Lindsay McIver, who is doing our Viennese swirls. I always say whirls, swirls. So Claire is going to make black cherry macarons. I'll disappear sometimes and I'll come back in and help Claire. She is nervous. I've told you before, Facebook Live, I know you all think I'm really confident, but believe me, I am shaking inside. And Claire has got the shakes as well, so for a confident lady who does classes, she's shaking as well, but I'm sure she's going to start flying. So I've got Laura helping out tonight, Caroline's not with us. I've also pinned a post on the top of our page, got myself super organised. It's only took me to week 16 to do this. So we're on week 16 now. So I put the recipe on that Claire's going to use, the products she's going to use, some of the things that I've got for sale, and the peony cutter ready for next week if anybody wants to look at those. And we'll go back to those in a minute. I'll show you those products. So I'm going to get Claire started, and I'll help her out as and when she needs me. Okay? So go on then, Claire. Tell us how it's done.
Thank you, Carol. So French macarons, they're a lot easier than Italian style, which is why we're going to do them. I'm not a pastry chef, I'm a cake decorator, but I really love French macarons, and this way they are just so easy to make. So I've got all my ingredients ready, and the first thing that I'm going to do is just sort out my almonds. Now I've got 115 grams of ground almonds here, and I've got 200 grams of the black cherry flavoured sugar and crumbs icing sugar. And I just need, because I don't really want to sieve them, so what I'm going to do is use a little spice grinder, and we're going to just get these almonds a little bit finer. So what I'll start with is just putting some icing sugar into the bottom of my mini chopper. I'm bound to make a mess with this. Gets everywhere, doesn't it?
So I know one of the questions they're all going to ask you, Claire, where did you buy your mini chopper?
My mini chopper is actually, this one's a Cousineau one, but I also have a couple for when I'm teaching of Kenwood mini choppers as well, and they're absolutely superb. So either or is great, and you can pick them up quite reasonably on Amazon. They're about 25-30 quid. So they're pretty good.
Yeah.
Pretty good price.
I actually had the pleasure of joining you on one of your macaron classes.
You did.
And I must say they were absolutely delicious, and I was always worried, would the flavour come out in the macarons?
It really does though, doesn't it?
It does,
especially the black cherry.
I was surprised. And having spent the day there, I think I came home with about 100 macarons, and I have to tell you, as you already know because I've already told you, but ladies, I scoffed the lot in the journey back from Warrington. Well, not quite the lot, but what happened was I scoffed them all, realised I'd left some shopping behind with the lovely Claire, drove back to Warrington, ate some more, drove back home again, and felt positively sick on the drive after all those macarons, but they were to die for.
Very Moorish they are, very Moorish.
So I'll let Claire come back to you then. So why are we blending this?
We're just going to give them a little grind now. If I just show you that I'm going to pulse this as well. So what that's going to do, it just means that I don't have to sieve my almonds, because that's quite chunky, and I've no desire to sieve the almonds or the icing sugar if I can help myself. So what I'll do is just grind that up together, and that will take away any lumps, and I can just transfer this. I put in about half at a time, and I can't get my machine apart now. Well, that's the way it goes.
Absolutely.
So I'm just going to pop those into another bowl, and I'll grind the second half. But it just means that I don't have to pass those through a sieve, because I don't know if anyone's made these macarons before, and the amount of time you spend with your sieve trying to push them all through, it is an absolute nightmare. On you go, there we are. So I'll go with the rest of my icing sugar now, and then I can pop the rest of the almonds in. But the, like I was saying before, the black cherry flavour comes through really well, and my other favourite is raspberry ripple.
Well, I was going to say, we made 3 on the day, and we made black cherry, raspberry ripple, which I was confident because they're very strong flavours.
Yeah.
The one that worried me about coming through was the lemon drizzle, and amazingly it did.
They were lovely, weren't they,
Yeah.
the lemon drizzle? Absolutely gorgeous.
I just thought that one may not come through as well, but I was really pleased with it.
They were lovely.
And I was really pleased with how easy they were to make, but I've only ever made them that once, Claire, with you.
You didn't make them again? Oh, Carol.
Well, after you bet 100 on the way over,
Yeah.
well, 75 plus on the way home.
Because the recipe does make quite a lot, as you'll see. This is about a quarter of a batch that we've got.
Yeah, well, we
laid out
made 3
ready.
batches, don't forget.
Yeah.
People can't get it to work.
Pardon?
Not working.
It's not working, right? Okay. Well, for those people, if the Facebook Live is struggling for you, as per usual, the show, it's always on our feed afterwards. So sometimes people actually can't see us, but it's always on our page later on. So as soon as we finish this session, it will go download to our page, and it will also be uploaded to our YouTube page tomorrow. So don't panic. I'm not quite sure why it isn't working, because we've sorted out our internet problem. So we've got no internet problems here. But how's everybody doing? Who can get it, who can't get it? Who can hear us, who can't hear us?
It's a bit mixed.
There's a bit mixed. Well, we're going to press on anyhow, because, you know, there's a lot of people who actually don't comment and just watch. So just bear with us. Keep trying your page.
Okay, so now I'm going to get onto the meringue style.
Could you just run through the ingredients that are in
Of
the bowl
course,
so
yes.
far?
So far, I've
Yep.
used 200 grams of black cherry flavoured icing sugar, and I've used 115 grams of ground almonds. Just whisk those up in a little mini chopper. I prefer a mini chopper. If you use a larger food processor, the blades don't get quite to the bottom, and you end up with all the big chunks of almonds at the bottom of the bowl, and they've just not been chopped at all. So that's why I use the mini chopper and just use it twice. So now we're going to go on to our meringues. Here I have 115 grams of egg whites. Now, you can sometimes get that out of 3 eggs, but sometimes it takes 4.
I've got it working here.
There we go. And I'm going to add it's about sort of 2 or 3 grams, but it's a good pinch of cream tartar. There we go. And I pop that back now. Just gonna have to light. And then we'll pop down the stand mixer. And when I'm doing this, I just like to unclip the whisk if I can, and just let that drop to the bottom of the bowl. And it just means that I've got no egg whites at the bottom that haven't been touched by the whisk, where you get a little foam on the top, and then everything underneath is still that sort of yellowish greenish liquid. We're trying to avoid that by just dropping that whisk down. So I'm just going to pop that on. It makes a bit of a noise when you do it like that, but it's worth it. Okay, so now what we're looking for here is for our egg whites to be lovely and foamy, but we're not looking for them to have any sort of structure yet. So I can pop my whisk back in. And that feels like it's on to me. We'll see what happens when I lift up. Yeah, that's on nice and secure. Super. So at this stage, I'm just going to start adding my sugar. Now, I would normally use 100 grams of sugar, but I've gone for a little bit more this time. It seems to help me with the weather that we're having at the moment, because as much as it's raining, it's still quite humid. So I've gone with a bit more sugar this time. I think I've put an extra 50 grams in there. So we'll go back down with our whisk attachment, and I'm going to start slowly, very slowly, just reining the sugar in between the side of the bowl and the whisk attachment. That goes in nice and slow.
Rather than chuck it in.
Well, I want to make sure I want to make sure it's completely combined. I don't want to sort of shove it all in a one and have that fit to the bottom. If I rein it in nice and slow, there's a better chance of the whisk picking that up and taking it round with it. Okay. So I'm just going to turn it up a little bit higher.
I also made sure that the steel bowl was clean. It has to be clean, but
Absolutely spotless. Yeah. Because essentially we are making meringue before we make macarons.
Yeah.
It does need to be absolutely spotless. And if you're not sure about that, what you can do is just run some white vinegar around. Give it a white round with white vinegar or some lemon juice or something like that. That'll just make sure that the bowl is completely grease-free, or else you'll never get a nice stiff meringue.
I didn't know that.
I'm going to lift up again, and if you can see, do you want to come in? And you can see how that looks like marshmallow fluff now. So this is the stage where I'm going to add my colouring. So I've got some of the Colour Splash pink, and I'm just going to squeeze. I like them really nicely brightly coloured because they do fade slightly in the oven. So I put a good old dollop of the colour in there, and we're going to start going with our mixer again.
That's a hammer thing, isn't it?
It's a lovely thing.
Just to confuse everybody, won't it? Black cherry macarons and pink.
The thing is though, I like making I like making greens and blues and things like that, and you don't often come across a flavour that will look right with those colours, do you? So I just pick my favourite colour and stick it in there. While it's looking up, are there any questions? Has everybody got the ingredients? And
Yeah, has everybody around it, John? I can pack them up. If they shout out, I can pack them up. How are we doing? Did Laura join us?
Yeah.
Right, is everybody all right now?
I think some people are still struggling.
Yeah. Right, okay. Well, a lot of people are saying it's worked. It really is 50-50.
okay, so I'm just checking the peak on these now because I'm looking for a nice firm peak, and as you can see from that, I've not got one yet. It needs to go a little bit longer, so we're going to pop that back on and have it beating at quite high. Oh, in you go. Where are you? Oh, I knew I was going to struggle with this.
Oh yeah, do you want to help you?
I'm getting there. I've got a Kenwood, everybody. I'm not used to this KitchenAid. Show myself up, can't put a stand mixer together.
Hey, listen, there's nothing wrong with a Kenwood. I always say it's the best mixer anyhow.
Look, I wasn't pushing hard enough, was I? You've got to use your elbow grease with the KitchenAid. Okay, so we'll pop that back on high for a little bit longer. Honestly, you'll be amazed at how quick this is. The real time comes when you're waiting to go in and out of the oven. The actual mix takes minutes. for our mix to have some streaks to it, and it should sort of dull down a little bit. I'm just going to pop over while that's working and just give my hands a little bit and come on down.
Okay, now this is me. Let me just put around here. I'll just sort out this one. Hang on a second. So everyone, just while Claire stopped me when she needs it, would you need us again now?
No, you're fine.
So just to remind everyone, as I said before, I've got myself organised. On the page today, I've actually pinned the top of the page. So I just want to remind you about Alzheimer's Cupcake Day on the 15th of June. If you want to join us, we've had quite a few people join us. All it is, it's about raising a few pennies, few pounds, couple £100, £10, it doesn't really matter what you raise. You can either make a cupcake, macarons, a big cake, you can do a tray bake, anything you want to make, and sell it to your friends. So instead of giving it away or selling it to one person, chop it up into slices if you're making a big cake, or sell your cupcakes with a cup of tea, and all the donations go into the pot. You can either join us here at Sugar and Crumbs with our fundraising. I put the link to our fundraising page, so when you collect all your monies together, you can pop it onto our page with your name. John and I are giving everybody who's joining us 2 free bags of icing sugar in their orders. So when you place your order, just say that you're doing the cupcake day and that you would like 2 free bags of icing sugar, which flavours you would like. You must make that note in the delivery notes section. If you don't do that, you won't get it because we'll assume you're not participating. So that's just a reminder. National Cupcake Day is on the 15th of June. We're holding ours on the 15th of June, which is a Thursday. I'm going to do mine at the night time. Other people are doing it during the week. People are doing it in work. People are doing it at school. Some people are saving it to the Saturday. But whatever it is, let's try and raise as much money as we can for this great cause. And I hope you join us, okay? So I'm going to pop you back to Claire because she's ready for you.
So, I just whipped for a firm peak is what we're looking for. It's the mixture slightly more dull than it was before, and I'm just going to show you what I mean by a firm peak. See how that's standing at just about 11 o'clock? And that's perfect. That's exactly what we're looking for. So we're just going to take all the meringue off our whisk, if we can.
So I can do all this to lick after.
There you go, I know you're a fan, so that's for you. And it's really important at this stage that we have a glass or a metal bowl. We don't want a plastic bowl, we don't want any grease in there again. It's just as important at this stage. So, which way do we go? That way. That wasn't quite as embarrassing this time. So I'm just going to take all of the meringue mixture into my nice big glass bowl. It's such a beautiful colour. It just looks so silky and gorgeous.
It does look good, doesn't it?
And we're about to make it look less pretty, though unfortunately. But they'll be really pretty later.
You just stick it up in there.
Just need to go on.
Pardon?
Okay.
Does the oven need to go on now, Claire?
Not just yet, no, thank you. Okay, so now I've got my almonds and icing sugar mix from our little mini chopper, and I'm just going to put half, sorry guys, half into my bowl, and then I'm going to start folding. It's really important at this stage that we gently fold. So I cut through the centre and I just turn my bowl as I'm going to make sure I get all of it. And I'm going to mix this just till it's combined. See how lovely and fine those almonds were just from going in that mini mixer, mini chopper. It really is so easy to not have to put them through the sieve. I'm sure there'll be pastry chefs out there who absolutely hate me for saying that, but if I can cut a corner I will.
Go after my own heart.
Yep. And there we go. The last of the almonds and icing sugar. I'm just going to fold that again, just until it's combined. So
you run through all the ingredients that are now in the bowl,
yes, all the ingredients that are in the bowl now
please.
is 115 grams of ground almonds. We have 200 grams of the black cherry flavoured icing sugar. We have the 115 grams of egg whites, and we have the well, it would usually be 100 grams of granulated sugar, but I put extra in today.
And why did you put extra in today?
Just because I don't really know if it affected it with the weather yesterday. I don't really know if it was the sugar, but it felt better to me. I was having a bit of trouble with my meringues yesterday, humidity, and it was just being a real nightmare. And I just put some extra sugar in and it worked out brilliant. So that's why I've done it. I didn't want to take the risk in the rain today because it's absolutely pouring it down here. Okay, so make sure all my last little bits are in. Nothing left on the bottom. Right, okay, so we managed to mix all that in, and that is still really, really full of air. So it's finding the balance now between having enough air and too much air. So what we're going to do, and this part is so important, we're going to use our spatula and just paint the mixture up the side of the bowl. And then we're just going to knock it all back down again. We've just got to remove enough air so that they don't explode when they go in the oven. Turn it over.
Can they explode? Yeah.
Oh yeah, the top will just pop right off.
Will it?
Yeah. It's not what we're looking for. So paint it again. It usually takes sort of between 3 to 5 goes up around the edges of the bowl just to make sure there's enough air knocked out, and I'll show you what to look for when we get there. Okay, so up again. You see how the mixture is very, very sticky and it's not really moving at all off the sides of the bowl. So what we want is it to just get a slight bit of movement when we do that. Okay, up again. Moving ever so slightly, but I think we'll give that at least one more go. Also, you'll probably find the bigger the bowl, the easier it is to do. I've got a lovely big IKEA bowl, which is about this sort of size. Huge.
Well, you did say to me get a big bowl.
Yeah, nice big bowl. Well, I should have brought my bowl, but I left it on the counter when I left everything else there this morning.
I thought it was going to be big enough.
It is big enough, it's just easier, it happens quicker in a bigger bowl. See, it's just starting to fall ever so slowly. I'm going to give that one more go. And then I think we'll be ready to pipe.
Well, it's good for people to know that, you know, rather than saying 5 times do it, it's good for them to know. Keep doing it until it falls.
It's quite visual.
And I think we'd rather you did it until it fell.
Can you see that sliding now, John? You see that ever so slightly sliding down the side of the bowl? Yeah. It's a very, very subtle movement. I think we'll do it. Let's go one more.
He didn't notice, Claire. Men for you.
Yeah. Can we see that now? Yeah? Here? Is it sliding down the side? Yeah. Right, I think we're good to go then. So let's scrape all that back down. Okay. Now I like to use a plastic piping bag at this stage. So what Claire's using is she likes to use a disposable piping bag, and you can get various ones. We sell these are the large disposable bags. We sell a small set and a large one, so okay.
They're on the website. I've also, where I've linked tonight's Facebook Live, I pinned it to the top. I've given the link for these as well. And just so that you do know, I've got these in. These are the teal silicone bags, okay? So these are great. These are reusable. So you could put all your macarons in this, use the round one, and you get 4 other super tips with it as well. So they're super. They're for sale. Want to see those? And then, but Claire is going to do what she normally does, which is use the reusable. She hasn't used a silicone one before, but I just thought I would show you because they're quite handy. And she's going to use I don't know which round tip you're going to use.
I'm going to use the smaller of them, which is a Wilton 2A.
2A, okay.
2A.
So the Wilton 2A we actually have on a set of 3 nozzles that we sell, the Wilton 2A. So anybody who's bought those large sets of 3, I'll add the link to that as well. That has the 1M on it, the 2A, and another one it has on it as well. So I knew we'd find use for that nozzle, guys.
And the 1M is one of my favourites for filling them as well.
Yeah.
I love the 1M. Okay, so just enough nozzle poking through, not too much. We don't want it to shoot off.
And I've played the work surface. Do you want me to bring around some of those?
Yes,
things?
please. So straight in the bag. The thing is, with this mixture, because it's full of air, what you can't do is just leave it in the bowl and then come back to it a few hours later. It will be completely deflated and they just won't work. So once it's made, it's done and you've got to use it. I can refill my bag in a few minutes, but that will do for now.
What's 7 5s?
35.
Pardon?
35.
Oh, is it really? Okay.
I was just about to say that, John.
Yeah.
Just about to, yeah.
We all believe you.
Okay, well we've got 2 mats on here. We've got this one here that we actually stock and sell. This is by Bacomat, which is a fantastic mat. And Claire's going to use this one. And that's why, the reason I asked what 7 5s was because this does 35 small macarons, and then Claire's also brought her own. So if you've got these ones, these are silicone mats. We don't have any of these in stock, but if you've got these, they work equally as well. But this is an excellent one for your meringue. You can put your meringues on here, you can put your biscuits on here, everything for baking in the oven. The one that we've got here. This one's just a macaron mat. So
these are super though, because they're versatile. You can use them for lots of other things, and they've got the circles on them. So that just helps you keep all the shapes nice and uniform. So, I'm just going
the oven on yet?
Not just yet. Because these are going to need to sit for quite a while, and Carol and I will ramble for a while and talk about some of the products and things while we're waiting for them, but they need to form a skin before they can go in the oven. So we pipe them, then we switch the oven on, then we check if they're ready to go in before they go anywhere. Okay, so it's a case of straight down, squeeze, stop, and I just pull away to the side, and that means, well, it avoids this, basically. That is not something that we want.
So we've got a right one and a wrong one.
We've got a right and a wrong there. So I'm going to squeeze, stop, and just flick away to the side. Well, that one was a little bit iffy as well, if I'm honest. It's just a quick snap with the wrist. And that just shaves away any little point from the top. Just remember to stop before you pull. Stop and pull away. So I'm going to be piping these forever because this mixture goes so far.
Yep, so while you pipe them, Claire, then I'm going to go around here and tell everybody about some of the things that we've got for sale.
Lovely.
So that they don't have to watch you do everyone, and we'll come back to you in a minute. So John, do you want to just come round here then? And I'll talk to you about these. So guys, part 1 of our Sprinklicious range has arrived, so it's actually on sale. They are $2.99 a pouch, but we put them on offer for you guys. They're on at $1.99. So we've got the silver, gold, and bronze crunch there, which is fantastic. That's really lovely, very, very pretty for your cake toppings. We also have the honeycomb pieces, Yeah, couldn't remember them. We have the mini refreshers. They're delicious. They're too nice. The mini salted caramel, again, gorgeous. So you can tell who's been tasting these, can't you? I'm never going to lose weight. Then we've got the popping candy. This is chocolate covered popping candy. So that's great fun. That's a nice surprise. Dolly mixtures as well. We've got the mini jazzies. They're on. We've got the toffee, chocolate covered toffee pieces. And last but not least is that we've got the trio curls. So there's chocolate, milk and white chocolate in there. Okay, so those are on sale now. It's our new Sprinklicious range. It's on the website, it's ready. Again, on the post, because I've organised myself today, I've done a link. So if you go straight back to our Facebook page, the pinned post, and read it all, it will give you Claire's recipe for the macarons. So that'll have all the ingredients and how to do that. And then it will give you the link for the Sprinklicious. We've done the link for the flavoured icing sugars, plus I've done a separate link for the black cherry flavour because that's what Claire's using today. I've actually made them in Claire's class with black cherry, raspberry ripple and lemon, and they were fantastic. We've got the sealed new piping bag, which is fantastic. This has got like a 1M nozzle as well. So you've got the 1M, you've got the round that Claire's using, you've got the one for doing your swirls with, and I can't remember what those other two nozzles do, but could have a play with those. I've done a link to the colour splash. Today Claire's used the pink, but with it being black cherry, I would have normally used violet. There's a pale pink. No, don't worry. We've got this fantastic macaron mat. That's on sale. Now these are the top of the range baking mats, these. These are the best that you can buy. They're made by Baker Glide. Is it Glide or Baker? What are they called?
I thought it was Baker Glide.
Yeah, but I think it's Baker Glide, and this is their Bako mat. Okay, so that one's there. And then what I've put here is, because I never actually got to do the peony, the easiest peony ever, I've actually put out what we're going to need next week. So these are the Saraceno. These are great modelling paste. So if you want to make models, these are absolutely fantastic. They come in gorgeous colour range. And I'm going to make a peony in this colour next week. So I'm going to use this lovely fuchsia colour. We do them in 250 packs, and we do a 1 kilo pack in white and in skin tone. And again, I put the link on the website there. So anybody who wants to get themselves pre-organised next week, ready for doing the peonies. I've also put out, this is a very handy thing to have whenever you're doing sugar paste or anything. This is Purple Cupcakes corn flour pouch. Again, it's an excellent thing, such an easy little gadget. I put the link on for there as well. And I've also popped on, if John can just pop over there, I've popped on the easiest peony ever cutter. So you get 3 pieces with this. Get the larger bit, the smaller bit, and you get a piece for the leaf.
How much is the macaron mat?
They're $10.99. Okay, and then you also, and I've also put on Squire's Kitchen sugar paste pink, because I'm also going to make the peony with the Squire's Kitchen as well. And then I'm going to let you know which one I think is the best one or the easiest one to work with. Really, they should both be easy to work with. So if anybody wants those, all the links are actually on the Facebook page. Right at the top, it's pinned. So when you finish later, pop over there. And as I said, the Sprinklicious range is on offer to you guys. I put it says sale, but I put it on so that you've got them all at $1.99 tonight, so you can try them. So we're going to go back to Claire then. How are we doing, Claire?
I'm doing great.
You've got one more tray to do.
One more tray to do, and then I'm going to start making some noise.
Yeah, does the oven
That's
as well?
I'll make the noise now. Yes, let's put the oven on.
And what temperature do you need the oven on?
160, please, Carol.
160.
John, do you want to follow me over this way? No, I'll make the noise over here.
So you see that we've been asking Claire. She told us to remind her when to put the oven on. So we've just been making sure she didn't forget. And why do you have to do that?
Not destroy Carol's worktop while I'm here.
Fine.
What we're doing is knocking any air bubbles out of them. So every sheet just needs to have a good old
Slap.
Good old bash before it goes anywhere, and especially before it forms the skin. Move those. Do one more sheet, and then I'll carry on with the last of the piping.
And how do you know you've done it enough?
You'll see the odd little bubble pop out where you can see here. A little bubble's
Oh,
popped
yeah.
out here, a little
Oh,
bubble's
yeah.
popped out there. You'll just see a few
Actually,
little
yeah, you
bubbles
can
pop.
just see them there now, can't
Yeah.
you? There's one.
Yep.
Yeah, oh good, alright then.
And then they'll start to, it sounds disgusting, doesn't it? Skin over, but they need to before they go in the oven, or else they're not going to maintain that lovely shape.
I would
in the
say
top.
crust.
Crust. Okay, they'll form a lovely crust.
Okay,
It does
then.
feel more like a skin at the time, though. It does. So I'm just going to pipe the last few over here.
So if anybody's missed on how Claire's piped them, here we go. She's just going to do the last few over here.
Yep, so it's straight down, stop, and then pull away to the side. Straight down, stop, and just pull away to the side. Stop.
So how many do we think we've got here then?
Oh, millions.
Yeah, 1, 2, 3, 4.
But don't forget you need 2 halves to make a whole. So,
What's 7 fours?
28.
28. So we've got 3 lots, well 2 lots of 28. 35, have we? Yeah, we've got a lot anyhow. Not bad out of that little batch, is it?
not bad at all, because
No.
it looks like hardly anything,
Yeah,
doesn't it? But
exactly.
it really does go very far.
Yeah. You'll have to slap that one on here.
Will do. Will it be okay on here?
Yeah, of course. So let me tell you about Claire then. So Claire is actually a full-time tutor, that's what she does. She does some amazing things and she has had the pleasure of exhibiting at Cake International. She's won quite a few awards and I put the link to her page as well on our Facebook so that you can pop over and have a look at the wonderful things she's doing. We'll just give this a slap.
There we go, that'll be fine.
You sure?
Yeah.
Oh, it's not going to do anything on there. You give it a
I'm
really good go.
scared.
No, go on. Go for it.
Perfect.
Perfect,
See how it
yeah.
just popped out there?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good.
Spot
No,
on.
I've got to get it right.
See
Claire.
that? Absolutely.
Yeah. So anyhow, as I said, Claire does classes and she has also exhibited at Cake International, won several awards. How did you feel about that, Claire? Because I get lots of ladies who say how nervous they are when they first apply for it and they're like nervous wrecks the week before.
It is incredibly nerve-wracking because you pour your heart and your soul into these pieces. And you really do. You can spend months making these, designing them, getting the ideas together and working on them.
And do you have to do them on real cake as well?
For some categories you do.
Yeah.
I'm generally just in the wedding cakes category, so
You can do
working on
that.
bunnies and working for months on them at a time because I usually do some quite intricate things. So it's very nerve-wracking because you have, don't forget you spent a lot of money as well. You spent a lot of money, you spent a lot of time on these things. And you're constantly terrified that you may have broken a rule somewhere. There may have been something that you've missed, and you're going to be disqualified, and it terrifies you. I did last March make a little bit of a mistake with the world's thinnest ribbon, very very tiny thin ribbon.
Yeah.
Just around 2 tiers of a 5-tier cake, and I didn't realise they changed the rules. So no ribbon was allowed.
Oh really? They can fail you for that?
They can. Luckily, there's so many other people, the rule had just changed, so many other people did the same as me, that they just downgraded all our certificates.
Right.
So, yeah.
Got to keep reading the instructions then.
You've got to read the rules, read them over and over and over again, because it's that easy to make a mistake. And instead of coming away with a gold and a silver, you come away with a silver and a bronze, and you don't feel quite as good as you could do.
Right.
So, one of those things.
Well, good. Well done to you, and I've seen those cakes. They're fabulous. Right, so I know where you do the classes. I came to see you at Windsor Cake Craft, which was great. You've got a great kitchen there. And where else do you do classes then?
I teach privately, and I also run a little sugar craft group as well in Sandbach where I live. So I generally, most of my classes are based in Windsor Craft in Warrington because that's so close to where I live. But I do travel elsewhere as well, not quite as frequently though. The best bet if you're looking for something with me is just to keep an eye on my Facebook page because Carol knows how rubbish I am at updating my website.
Found out today.
Yeah, links not working when they should be working, so I must admit I'm a nightmare. So the best place to look every time I list something new, it goes on my Facebook page, and I'll tell you wherever I'm going to be. I do a lot of demonstrations in the theatres as well at Cake International, so I'll always pop that on my Facebook page, and you can buy tickets direct through the Cake International website for those as well.
And you were also demoing our Nifty Nozzles at the February show at Cake International for us.
Yeah.
Because John and I were holidaying, so you did it for us, didn't you?
Yeah, I did.
April
It's
show.
lovely. We did a few little workshops. You know, got the customers involved as well, which was lovely. And that just really helps, doesn't it? So they can understand how everything works and get hands-on with it. So yeah, it's lovely.
No worries. Well, I'm going to ask you more about plasters now. So what we're going to do is, do these go? How long do these need to stay out now before they go in
They
the
need to
oven?
stay out quite a while. Let's give them a little check. What I'm looking for is to be able to touch them and nothing.
Nothing move.
Yeah.
Is it 20 minutes they need to stay out?
Yeah, 20 minutes-ish. They're not quite there yet.
Well, don't worry, because we've got a
Not
buttercream
quite
all
there.
these together, haven't we?
We have.
Right, okay then. So if I just put those on one side then, Claire, let me grab this for you. So we'll grab these. Do you want to tell the ladies what you're going to do now?
Sure.
With these? I've actually made up the buttercream, so let me just go and get the bag that
Can I use the silken bag now? Is that okay?
Yeah, of course you can.
Super.
I don't think I put the 1M in it for you.
Okay, let's pinch that one. There we go. Right, I've not used this before, so let's see how it goes, changing a piping tip. I don't know if this is the right way, but it's the way I'm doing it. Someone's got a better suggestion, let John know now. Right, we're out. And I can pop my one in. So I'm using a star tip now, because I just think it looks a bit prettier for the filling. Oh, that's brilliant actually. That sits really well, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does.
They do sit really firm.
Sorry for me to run off there, but I realised I haven't got a bag of velvet vanilla to show you.
Oh, right.
And I've thrown the bag in the bin. Actually,
So I'm using the a buttercream that Carol's made using the velvet vanilla icing sugar, which is one of my favourites.
here we go, velvet vanilla. This is one of our top selling flavours. It tastes just like dairy ice cream. It's absolutely delicious.
It's beautiful.
And when Claire said she was doing black cherry today, I thought rather than do a black cherry buttercream and the macarons as well, we'll put black cherry and velvet vanilla together.
Yeah.
So I've already, let me just get rid of this. Myself a damp cloth.
That's the joy as well of using the icing sugars for the macaron shells, because normally they would be plain or you could put some vanilla extract in there. But if you use the icing sugars, you can mix the two flavours together and it works beautifully. My other favourite combination for that is the raspberry ripple and the lemon drizzle in the middle. It's absolutely beautiful, the raspberry and lemon together.
So I'll get this off for you. Did you swap the nozzle over?
I
Yeah.
swapped.
Okay.
It wasn't very elegant, so I did swap it.
Good girl.
It was slightly embarrassing. I can't use a stand mixer or a piping bag, but
Okay.
thank you very much.
So I'm sure some of you will know how to pipe, but I'm going to get Claire to do this for you. Do you want to fill your bag? Sorry.
Thank
Actually,
you.
I'll do it this side so that they can see.
Yeah, lovely.
Sorry, and
How are you going that way?
I'll move the macarons.
Oh, thank you.
There you go.
Lovely. Okay. I like to just fold over the top of the bag and use my hand really in a C shape just to cut that, and then I can use my thumb to scrape the spatula, and then I'm not wasting anything. Although I don't think I need absolutely all of it, so we'll just go with this much. It's lovely and smooth, that, Carol. What's the recipe you use for that?
Okay, well all I've done there, as per usual, is exactly the same recipe as I used for the Nifty Nozzles. Room temperature unsalted butter, okay? I've used 250 grams and one bag of our flavoured icing sugar. I always use our flavoured icing sugar full strength, but you know, lots of people like to dilute the flavour and they'll do half a bag of icing sugar, flavoured icing sugar, with half a bag of plain. I meant to tell you, we do put all the recipes on the website. So on the back of each packet of icing sugar, this little pink box here tells you our recipe website. And that is sugarandcrumbsmixingitup.com. Okay, and Claire's recipe is on there. I actually put it on some time ago when I went to Claire's class, and I asked her then if I could use the recipe, which she very kindly said I could. So she's got a credit to that there, and that is actually on the Sugar and Crumbs Mix It Up website. So do go along there because there's lots of useful tips on there. So I'm just going to get Claire to do these.
Okay.
I've got your little table to transfer to.
Okay, so as usual, I've overfilled my piping bag. You really just want enough in your hand to squeeze. So I like to rest it on my shoulder, and then I'm just going to squeeze the bottom portion of the bag. So I'm just going to squeeze, stop, pull away. So I'm just making a small star shape, and I'm going to match up my sizes shortly. So I'll just pipe in some centres. You got that?
Oh, they're nice.
I just think it looks a little bit prettier rather than just having the plain centre.
So I wonder how many of my lovely customers out there have tasted our velvet vanilla. So I don't know where I was this weekend. Where was I this weekend? Oh no, I was teaching yesterday. That's where I was. And a lady came yesterday and she only uses the velvet vanilla. She said everyone goes crazy for it. But the reason we've got so many flavours is because I can't make up my mind. I love them all.
I like the velvet vanilla because, like you said, it's ice creamy, isn't it?
Yeah, goes with everything.
If you make those gorgeous little cupcakes that you see on Pinterest in the ice cream cone,
yeah,
and then you pop this on the top, a little bit of raspberry sauce, flaking it, they're amazing.
Well, it's good that you said that because we did those ice cream cones the other week on Facebook Live.
Oh, did
so,
you?
Yeah, and they were so easy to make.
That'll be one of the few that I missed. I've seen you doing your dome cake, and I've seen cupcakes. I love the ice cream.
Yeah.
Cupcakes. Okay.
So I want to make sure we get all these done, Claire, because there'll be a good shag I'll be eating.
Yeah.
And I think the boys in work are looking forward to them tomorrow as well.
So there we go. I just twist, when I'm popping the lid on, I just twist those together. And then I can pop a little twist. Although we're using a mat, we do tend to mix up the sizes a little bit anyway. They spread in different places in the oven. So just when you're popping them together, have a look for two that are very similar size. You see the lovely big tall feet on those. That's exactly what we're looking for.
They're good. That's the thing. Why do they have to have feet, macarons? Because I before I came to your class, I made a batch once and they didn't have any feet. They tasted amazing,
Yeah.
because of the sugars, but they didn't have any feet. And my son, who's a chef, was mortified. He was absolutely mortified that I put a picture of them on our Facebook, and then I even topped it up by putting a picture of them on our website. And they all had cracks across the top as well. So what had I done wrong there?
Well, cracks on the top can come from air bubbles,
Right.
but it sounds to me like it's been overmixed.
Yeah.
So you've just taken too much of that air out of them.
Right, because I never did any of that slapping on the table or patting it down.
It could be a case of, that can be air coming out the top, which cracks them.
Yeah.
But for them not to get any feet, I would say it's probably an overmixing in the bowl.
Right.
Perhaps if when you've been folding, it's not been so careful, it's been more of a mix than
I don't
a fold.
even think I folded, Claire.
Yeah.
If I'm honest, I think I
that's
just mixed
probably what
it.
it is.
But I will say they tasted gorgeous, and to me I was very happy with them. But I will say my son was most mortified, and if he's watching tonight, he'll be commenting on that as well. But they're great, just how I took them from you.
Well, I hope
Lovely
he's not going to be picking on me then tonight. And I'm very particular.
No worries. And I saw on the website that you are actually doing a class of sugar and crumbs in of not nifty nozzles, of macarons.
I am, yes.
Yes, is that
Yes, I've got
August?
another
Let me
one
just
coming
get
up.
that.
I think it's August, yeah.
Let me just see.
Either August or beginning of September.
Yeah, you're doing a macaron masterclass
That's the
on
one.
the 26th of August, 10 till 4, and that's £70. And let me just have a look at all the other things that you do here, because you do some fabulous things, Claire. Vintage wedding 2-tier class,
Yes.
How to
Yes,
ganache
yeah.
and sugar paste using sharp edges.
Sharp edges there,
Yeah.
yeah.
Clever girl, aren't you? And then you've got the giant rose making class, the double barrel beauty class.
That's a
So-
new one, that is. It's a
What's the
hand-painted design on a double barrel cake, ganached and
I love
sharp-edged. Yeah, it's a lovely class, that one.
Right. And then for October you've got the Halloween Witch with Claire Corbett, vintage cupcakes, and an intermediate wedding masterclass one. So you do a fair bit there,
Yeah.
don't you, Claire?
No, the wedding masterclass is another new one. That's a full weekend, and you make a 2-tier wedding cake with stripes and a really large feature flower on there. You also do 6 mini cakes, and you do 6 cake pops.
Right, well,
as well.
to be
So
fair,
there's
looking at your
plenty on
classes,
it.
they're really reasonable there. You've got classes there
Yeah.
from £50 upwards.
Yes.
So really very, very reasonable. Well done, especially they're all for a day, aren't they? 10 till 4.
Yeah.
Yeah, good.
Yeah.
Is there a link to Claire's Facebook page?
I've done a link on the top of on our Facebook page. I've done a link to Claire's actual website. But what I'll do is I'll go in and edit it afterwards, and I'll put in a link to her Facebook page as well, because I do really think she's a lady that you should follow, and you should check out some of her classes. As I say, I've been on one of the classes, but there's a couple there I've got my eye on that I'm going to muscle my way in on. So,
I love having you there. I do love having you there. You're absolutely more than welcome anytime.
the fact I never stop talking. So these are looking really good.
There we go. One last one. And there's a half there. Did you want that one?
Got to, haven't you? You can have it half.
You have
half
a full
one. They're really nice. So how
Mm,
lovely
so
are those? I don't know how many we've got there. I didn't count them all. So
There's quite a few.
yeah.
And that's roughly, I'd say about a third of a batch that.
Yeah. So how long did it take once you put them in the oven, Claire? Just remind me.
10 to 12 minutes.
10 to 12 minutes.
So
Okay.
once they're in, it's quick.
Yeah. So what I'm going to say to you is I'm going to get John to have a look where Claire's up to now. Now we always do a catch up, okay? So it's actually 5 to 9 now, and I think, how long do you think they're going to need, Claire, now? Another 10, 15 minutes?
I think 2 sheets are ready to go in and another
Right.
2 sheets.
Okay, what we're going to do is we're going to do a catch up, okay? So we're going to pop 2 sheets in the oven now, and they'll be ready in 15 minutes. So I think we'll come back in about 20 minutes,
Yeah.
shall we? And give you an update. So this gives everyone time to go and get a cup of tea, put your feet up, come back in 20 minutes, 15-20 minutes, and we'll be here again to show you what they look like when they come out of the oven. So should we get these popped in now?
Let's
Which
get them
ones are
in.
ready to go in?
I'm going to go with these 2.
Them two, okay. So we'll get those in this oven here.
1 sheet per oven at a time. So
Oh right, that's fun. Right, okay, so you must remember that. Not 2 sheets in the oven at a time, 1 sheet in the oven at a time. Why is that?
They don't bake evenly. You'll find that they're all wonky, lopsided, so you need 1 sheet at a time. And what we're going to do now they're in is turn that temperature down to 135.
Right, so you got that down to 135 now,
Yeah.
which is something for me to do. I'm going to work that out there.
Yeah, please.
That's 135, 10, 20, 35, yeah. Let's do that, 135. Okay, so I'm going to put these in the oven, give the others, these will take 12 to 15 minutes. Then we're going to put the others in the oven, 12 to 15 minutes, so that's half an hour. So we should be just coming back as they're ready to come out the oven, the second batch, okay?
Yeah.
So get that cup of tea and make sure you join us back in half an hour. See you later. Hi everyone, thanks for coming back and joining Claire and I again. We are laughing because it always goes wrong on the night. So we went live a couple of minutes ago, and you may wonder why you didn't see us, and that's because John posted it to one of our other pages, Nifty Nozzles and Sugar and Crumbs, instead of Sugar and Crumbs with Nifty Nozzles. And we were thinking, why have we got no viewers? There we go. Because it went to that small page for 4.5 minutes. But anyhow, we're back, and Claire's going to update you because we've had some problems with the, we've had some good things with the meringues and some bad things, but these are things that we need to show you that can go wrong, and Claire's just going to talk you through them. Okay, so
Yeah.
we'll pop over to the oven.
Okay. So what we've done, I've just popped these back into this oven, but I had them in the oven on the other side before. Now, they're both the same oven, both installed at the same time, Carol tells me.
Yeah.
This oven is lovely and hot. This oven, not so much. So you can see, if you get really close to me here, John, you can see that there are no feet whatsoever on these macarons. They are an absolute disaster. Not good at all. Pretty embarrassing to do live. But the good news is, the other trays are perfect.
So it's not your fault, Claire, then, it's our fault.
No, it's John's fault technically because he's worn out the oven cooking too many meals.
So basically, because we've got 2 ovens in the kitchen, John uses one oven all the time. And it's like when you're baking, people ask me different temperatures about things, and their ovens work differently. Well, the older your oven is, the higher your temperature generally is going to go. And our oven, we put it on the temperature that Claire asked for, not thinking about it that John uses that oven the most. And I think that's where the problem's been. We should have knocked it up a notch or 2. Yeah. So do you want to tell them about what's gone on here then, Claire?
Okay, so I took these out of the oven about 8 minutes ago. I'd usually say leave them 8 to 10 minutes to rest on the trays when you take them out of the oven. But you can see as well, if I just move one of those shells from the colder oven, the colour difference. These are a little bit more faded and a little bit more brown. And that again, that oven's probably too hot, hotter than I want it to be. But still, we've got lovely feet on them and that's all that matters. So what we're looking for at this stage when we remove them from our mats is that we can just pull them away, and this bottom here is absolutely gorgeous and smooth. Unlike this one from our dodgy batch.
Yeah, because we had 2 batches in one oven. So one oven's too high because that's the oven we don't use too much, and that's why it's gone a brownish colour. And the other oven was too low because we use that oven all the time. So,
but
ladies, you're going to have to work out your ovens.
Exactly. It's all trial and error, and I would say using a thermometer in your oven, it does really help with baking.
So Claire, you mentioned you wasn't happy with the little crust on the top.
No, I'm not particularly happy, and I think that again is down to the weather. As I said at the beginning of the video we were working on earlier, I put in some extra sugar, and that's really because yesterday I was struggling a little bit, so I added some extra sugar and everything worked fine. Now, it was sun and rain yesterday, quite humid. Today it's just absolutely lashed it down all day, hasn't it? So I thought, well, I'll try the same, but unfortunately today it's not great because our sugar hasn't quite dissolved enough. And you can see the difference between the batch I made at home yesterday and the batch we've made
And did you
tonight.
use granulated in your own or caster sugar?
Yeah, I used granulated. You can use caster sugar if you're worried about it. It does dissolve a little faster. Yeah. It's just I've always made any sort of meringue base with granulated. It's just what I do. Yeah. So maybe not in future. Maybe we might change over to caster sugar.
Maybe in the future we won't make them in funny weather.
Yeah.
But you know what, the good thing is, Claire, though, even though that you've got complaints about them, we've already tasted them, and you'll see from earlier there's quite a few missing because John, Maria, Claire and myself have been scoffing them.
Yeah.
They're absolutely delicious. These taste nice as well. We've already tasted these. We're going to get Claire just to pipe a few more, just in case a few of you missed it from before. Yeah. And I'll enjoy one of these. So I'll let you pop a few together.
Okay, so again, I'm just going to use just a handful of the icing that's in the bag and just leave the rest of the bag on my shoulder. And I'm just piping straight down a star into the... Oh, crikey. That's because it's been sat in my bag for a few minutes. Just going to pipe a little star into the centre of a few. And I like using a star tip when I'm filling these, and only because it just looks a little bit prettier from the side view.
I agree with you.
Traditionally you'd use a round tip,
but
I just think these look cute. So that's why I do it.
And then Claire, you were saying that the pink colour, our pink is not as dark as yours.
Yes.
Which colours do you use?
I'll be honest, I have a bit of everything in my kitchen. So I've got Sugar Flare, I've got Pro Gels, and I've got Colour Splash.
Me too. Yeah.
See, when I'm using the Colour Splash for macarons because of the oven, I should really know that I need to use a little bit more.
Yeah, that's what I was going to
Whereas
say.
if you're baking into a sponge or mixing it with buttercream or sugar paste, the Colour Splash are really, really vivid. So it's just one of those. I'm not overly keen on sugar flare for this. I think they're a bit too thick.
Yeah.
So I'd say your Colour Splash or your Pro Gel is the best option for these.
Yeah, I found that when I've used the sugar flare, if it's the lump, some of the gels are really nice and liquefied, and some of them are quite lumpy.
Some of them are very
and
thick.
They don't mix. But I would have said as well that for the macarons, I would give yourself a really, really good squeeze of that bright pink.
Yeah, definitely.
So let's stick a few of those together then.
Yes.
So who did come back and join us? Who have we got back here and join us?
I'm going to stick two opposite colours together. Beautiful.
So if anybody wants to know how they taste, I will tell you that they taste good. And like when Laura made those raspberry ripple marshmallows and I scoffed a lot, I reckon that's what's going to happen to these. So the boys, I best get these into work tomorrow fairly sharpish, because otherwise I'm going to be double the size next week. They are yummy. Even John's been eating them and he doesn't have a sweet tooth. Maria, I never see Maria eat anything apart from a lunch, and she's had a few already.
Maria said they were a triumph, didn't she?
Yeah. How many have you had today, Claire?
I've not been bad. I've only had the two. So,
Only two.
I've only had the two.
They are
They're
more
only
things.
teeny tiny, aren't they? They're only a mouthful.
Yeah, they are more issues things. So, what I am going to say now, I don't think there's much more that we can show you. If anybody wants to quickly shout out a quick question, I'll get Claire to answer them. But otherwise, I'm just going to say thank you for joining us. Hope you join us next week. I've got Lindsay McIver joining us next week, and she's going to be doing mint chocolate Viennese swirls, and I will do my easiest easiest peony, and I'm going to do something with nifty nozzles, which I haven't done tonight. Don't know what, I'll have a think about it. The following week we've got Karen Davies joining us from with her silicone moulds, so she's going to come over and do a demo of those, which I'm really looking forward to. And I hope to see you next week. Sorry for those who've had problems with their internet connection. It looks like when I was reading through the feed afterwards, most of you got it sorted out. We've got no problems here. If there's anything wrong with the sound, maybe I was just a bit quieter tonight, but I do feel as though I've been going out loud. So just turn your volume up, that will help. And I want to say a big thank you, Claire, for coming along, and I hope you do join us again. It was last minute. She has been working all day, God bless her. Shot off from work at 5 o'clock, through the traffic, got here. So well done for that. And if you can all give her a big love heart to say thank you for joining us, I will be ever so grateful. Do pop along to her page, and if you ever get to one of her classes, I'm not just bigging her up, she's so easy to teach with, you'll love it. Well worth the investment. So I'll see you all next week. I'm not going to do a catch up because we've come back again. So I will see you all next week, 8 o'clock with Lindsay. Bye-bye.
Bye.